Today, our most requested video, Games Room Tour 2020, and this is my first ever one. It's going to be a little bit different in style to most, so just sit back, relax. I'm going to get behind the camera for this one. Let's talk through the collection, show you the rest of the room here, because you always see this. Hit like, hit subscribe below, all that jazz. I appreciate it, and let's get started. Let's jump in with my small retro collection first. In the UK I went pretty damn hard on retro, but when I moved I sold it. I regret it now honestly, but I've shifted my focus here to more of a current gen vibe. I still have a few gems though, I've got to say. A Ninja Gaiden 1, 2, 3, Donkey Kong Country, The Death and Return of Superman, Link to the Past, just to name a few. Now though, I am kind of just grabbing those select gems. When I got here, I brought pretty much anything, so there's also a lot of trash in here as well. You can probably see that. A weird one in the collection, Treasure Master for the NES. I picked that one up after seeing the completionist force some poor soul to play it during one of his panels at Game On Expo in Phoenix. It's as bad as it looked, which is weirdly also why I wanted it. My only real retro aim for 2020, start getting my Dreamcast collection back. Love the system, love that library so much. So these bottle openers here, these were gifts. That red one is Call of Duty, but I love booze. What a great design, I love that thing. Here we've got more headphones again, both Steel Series, my go-to brand right now. The black ones you're going to see at the back there, Arctis 7s for my PS4, and these white ones, my PC hookup, the Arctis Pro Wireless. Stunning headphones, easily worth anyone's investment. Getting a bit more modern now, Yomawari Nintendo Switch Collector's Edition. This is a great little 2D horror game, and it's standing on my tiny 3DS collection. My go-tos, Persona Q Collection, Radiant Astoria, Shantae, and Bravely Default. This special edition here, it's pretty beat up, but I can't wait for the Switch sequel. It's the Ultimate Edition for Luminaires on the Switch. It's a kick-ass box. Ninja Gaiden 2 complete. One day I'll get the first and third complete, but not cheap. My first few Dreamcast pickups shoved in there. And now with Golf Story on the Switch, let's talk my physical Switch standard collection. First off, AI Somnium Files. Easily one of my Switch games of 2019. I've been collecting pretty hard this year for the Switch. I'm actually nearing 200 or so games. I'm not going to talk about everything today. I'll be doing a full Switch collection video very soon, so head over to the channel, hit that subscribe button to be notified of that, along with like the 150 Switch reviews and news videos I've done already. But with my collection, you're going to see there's quite a few of them still sealed. That's because if I seek a good price or if I get a review code, I'll pick them up, and that goes for pretty much any console. Most I am going to open, a few I might leave sealed honestly, but generally I am buying them to play them. It's just finding time more than anything. Right now though, I'm hooked on The Messenger again, God Eater 3, Dragon Quest 11, and Pokemon Sword. That one got a little bit of hate at the beginning, but I've been having a great time with it. I also recently finished Fire Emblem, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be going back for another playthrough. I love my Switch though, the library is incredible, it's got so many powerhouse releases, and I'm excited to see what 2020 brings for it. You've probably noticed as well, there's quite a few games here where the spine title it either doesn't line up, or it's obviously not in English. That's because the Switch is a fantastic system to import games for. Looking at my collection, a few strong recommendations. It's got to be Phoenix Wright Trilogy, Lost Sphere, and then Onimusha. There's a collector's edition of that one coming up later in the video. Here's my first batch of Switch Collector's Editions. Way too many dropping, so again, I'm kind of cherry picking favourites at this point, but a few strong ones here. Shantae, Deathmark, Axiom Verge, that Hollow Knight plush. It might not have sold well, but Starlink as well. Let's move away from Switch though, we'll be back in a second, and move on to Xbox. So Ni no Kuni 2, beautiful steelbook, great game. Not as good as the original though. Anthem there, probably the most disappointing game of 2019 for me. I was psyched and look how that turned out. I've loved Xbox though since the original. There's always that same PS versus Xbox debate. But honestly for me, I think they both have their strengths. Xbox is for sure though crushing it right now with their online service. A good old Smash Brothers Switch GameCube controller there. But on the Xbox, my main games right now, F1 2019, and I just also restarted The Witcher 3. Probably the best way to play it. Death Stranding, Steelbook here for the PS4, stunning, you either love or hate the game. I definitely loved it. Now a few more collector's pieces, Red Dead Redemption 2 Metal Lockbox, Cosmic Star Heroine for the Vita. Then this is the Pokemon Edition Switch Lite. Love the look of this thing, great detail, great colours. Still trying to work out how much use I will get out of it honestly, but I guess the next year will tell. Now a repro cart, Mother 2 and soundtrack, known here as Earthbound, amazing RPG, and the 500 million edition accessories. Everyone hates this next one, Mafia 3. I actually thought it was okay, and this is a great collector's edition with a collection of final soundtracks included. On to PS4, two of my favourite steelbooks, Resident Evil 2, The Mighty Catherine. My PS4 collection, it's getting pretty decent now. It's probably my smallest collection, but it has some truly great exclusives. I was addicted to Bloodborne for the longest time. If you've never played Tetris Effect, I strongly suggest it. And then one of my favourite game series of, well, ever, any of the Yakuza games or the more recent, Judgment was amazing too. They also did the Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise game, and I feel like that one is actually a bit of a hidden gem. It's basically Yakuza in the anime world, so if that sounds like your sort of thing, you should definitely look into it. So overall, the PS4 is just a fun system to collect for. Like I said, there's very unique games here, and you'll have a lot of fun kind of diving in and seeing what you can find. Now the Vita, this collection is basically a few minor obvious ones and a whole lot of limited run games. Right now I'm loving Sun and Valkyrie though, I've been going back to that for a while, and then probably Persona 4 Dancing All Night, that's a lot of fun too. It's just a great all-around handheld, a huge library pretty much covering every genre, and there's a few select collector's editions here as well. Right now though, one of my favourite items, the PlayStation sneakers. These things are pretty cool in a weird way, the tongue lights up. They're just, I needed them, they were just so different, so unique. And here they're sitting on my dog's Game of Thrones bed. Yeah, it's not video games, but I still thought it was cool enough that I should show it today. Okay, onto the top shelf now, and this is where I put the bigger boxes and some of my favourites from each collection. First up here, my only Genesis game, Speedball 2. Not a great game at all, but I grew up playing that one with my dad, so it's a special one to me. Smash, everyone needs Smash, and this is the collector's edition. Japanese Chrono Trigger with Sekiro hiding in the background there. And there's Repro Kart for YouTube Wrestling from John Riggs, I believe. This Halo Pop here, signed by the voice actor for Master Chief, Steve Downs. Cobra Arcade, if you're ever in Phoenix, go and check this place out, it's awesome. And then you can see here my two Yakuza collector's editions. The big one for Yakuza 6, it's one of the coolest collector's editions I've owned. It comes with whiskey glasses, I love it, I just need to find a way now to display them. Here I've got two Mario Maker lunchboxes because my first one got trashed in the mail. You can actually see the dents in the top one. And all the way up there I have my 3DS Pikachu edition, and that's my only 3DS, great looking console. The black plastic thing here, that's actually a flip grip for the Switch. If you're a fan of shmups, it's a must buy. Zelda, do I need to say anymore? And then a small Cuphead collection of literal mugs and the final soundtrack from I Am 8-Bit. This is my Japanese imported Persona Vita edition right now. Beautiful console, being multi-region it works out perfectly. And this beaten up DualShock, it's a good memory. When I first got my dog, he chewed the hell out of it. It was a bad time then, but now I'll never let it go. Two limited edition controllers here, Xbox and PS4. My number one possession in my games room though, the Zelda Master Sword Edition. Getting this thing was a pain in the ass. It's a great piece though, huge box, awesome collectibles too, and then I even had a friend import me the exclusive 7-Eleven Link to the Past glasses from Canada. Two of my favourite games here, Firewatch and Grim Fandango. I've got some great pieces for both coming up in the video. I've had a few people ask me questions about this artwork in the background. It's actually final soundtracks, this one being Shadow of the Colossus. A few small trinkets, Oddworld AI Somnium files, a Zelda letter opener, don't even know where that came from. A grail piece for me though here, the Ninja Gaiden trilogy. Terrible versions of the games, stick to the NES builds, but I always wanted it. Undertale and Mega Man 11 Collector's Editions, both fantastic games. Here are a few more obscure controllers, we've got the Dreamcast VMU memory card, the Pokeball Plus, actually not bad, and the Retron 5 controller, probably the worst controller I've ever used. Here's my Catherine collection, I've got the imports from Japan as well as the US variations. and AI Somnium Files, as I said, one of my games of 2019. Another lunchbox. Mystic Ninja is actually one of my favourite SNES games, so you can see it standing proud there. And of course, my Shenmue 3. That's my Kickstarter backer version. I'm actually waiting on the additional content. And I mentioned on Yamusha, there's that collector's edition. Great game, worthy of anyone taking the time to play it. And here's a signed version of Gears of War from Dom. Fury from Limited Run Games. I think this is probably the best art they've done so far for any release they've had. PlayStation Classic here. This thing's absolutely terrible, but I've heard it's really good for the modding community. Not so video game related, but I saw Kevin Smith recently on the Jay and Silent Bob reboot tour. Absolutely great time. And this wall you don't normally see. There's a lot of stuff people are going to hate in here. First up, that Death Stranding Collector's Edition. Definitely, like I said earlier, love or hate game. By far one of the weirdest collector's editions I've ever seen, if not the weirdest one. It's a really unique piece. It definitely matches the kind of the game's theme. Few pops here. We've got Siri from E3, glow in the dark. Got Geralt from GameStop, also glow in the dark. And then Mega Man. I mean, who doesn't love Mega Man? Now a Mario NES shell painted. Got this at Game on Expo. It was a charity piece, and that money went to charity, so totally worth it. Switch Fight Stick. Don't hear many people talk about this, but that's a great time. Ni no Kuni 2 Collector's Edition, and then of course the Fallout 76 helmet. Terrible game, but I actually really like this piece as far as collector's editions go. Now Gears of War, I really don't like that figure, it's really low detail. Mega Man figure here, these Good Smile ones don't come cheap. This one was worth it, but I don't see myself picking up too many of them. And this is actually Mario Wipes that I picked up on vacation, a really weird one. I've never seen anything like it before. It looks like it was a Japanese import. I think it was like $3 or $4, so yeah, it's on the shelf now. Here's a few World and Nintendo figures, Zelda and Mario collections. And the last few physical games here, a small Blaze Blue collection, probably my favourite 2D fighter right now. A limited run binder with some of the playing cards they give out, as well as a flight stick. And then a small Link figure here as well with my Nintendo Switch case. So let's move on to the equipment I'm actually using. First up for consoles, we'll be looking at the Retron 5. This thing, it plays everything from Game Boy Advance, Genesis, SNES, NES, a few others as well, I think Game Gear as well. Not a bad little system. My SNES don't get so much use out of this one anymore, honestly. I tend to stick to the Retron 5 because it's got HDMI, makes capturing footage easy. As I said, I'm just getting back into Dreamcast. I'm actually currently playing Crazy Taxi right now. Then my PlayStation 4 500 million edition console. This thing is beautiful. It was pretty tough to get, sold out quickly, but totally worth it. The Xbox One X, this is the Project Scorpio edition, also pretty tough to get. This was like those first few pre-orders. Beautiful looking console. And I've got my Xbox headphones here as well. So I tend to run pretty much everything in my home through Fitzio TVs. They're pretty budget, but I think their production on the images are great. And if you recognise that character on the clock, that's a Grim Fandango clock. That was a birthday gift to me. I don't know how they found it, but I thought it was just so very cool. Probably one of my favourite things in the room right now. A Persona 5 poster, picked this one up at Game on Expo as well. I actually picked up quite a bit there. Love this print, it's really nicely done, and yeah, I tend to frame everything in the room. I think it adds a whole extra level of quality. This is my PC setup. You can see I'm using another pair of SteelSeries here. These are for my Nintendo Switch. And yeah, if you're wondering where my Switch is, here it is. I've got it in hand out in this room right now. My dock's set up in another room. I'm not going to say much else on this console. I think my collection says it all. Fantastic system. It's been my go-to for probably the last 2 years at this point. And finally, my wall of pictures that I'm looking at when I'm editing these videos. We got a couple of Firewatch ones in here that was straight from Campon Santos, I think they're called. They made the game. We've got a Halo 4 one here, signed by Master Chief himself. This is Metal Slug. You're going to see a lot of I Am 8-bit pictures here, and this is the first one. Same again next up, it's Grim Fandango. This is like limited 1 of 100, and that's probably my favourite piece. Ni no Kuni, that one comes from Fangamer. It's just basically the artwork from the game, nothing limited about this one. Grim Fandango miniature picture here. This one's limited, I think 1 of 60. Beautiful artwork again. Hyper Light Drifter. And then my last two. This one's kind of hidden, unfortunately, behind the speaker, but Resident Evil. I need to get that one moved because it's just so unique. And of course, my Link. Another I Am 8-bit. That thing is just stunning looking again. And last up in the room today, we've got my gaming chair. That's a Secret Labs Titan. Probably the most comfortable seat I've ever owned in my life. Definitely worth the money. if it's something you're looking into purchasing, I'd suggest checking out Secret Labs. But that's it. That's the Games Room tour for 2020. I hope you enjoyed it. It's definitely my first one ever, so the styling is a little bit weird. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions. Hit that subscribe button for a ton of Switch videos. We've got over 150 live now. And with that, we'll see you all on the next Gaming X.